You are listening to CIUT 89.5 FM, and this is live from Studio 2. Every week, every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m., we bring you a live performance from a band here in our studios, and this week we're featuring The Shop. I am so excited about this session. I've been trying to get these folks in here for the last 6 months or so since I first heard them performing over at Tapestry in Kensington Market. And as you heard from that first tune, The Shop is a very tight, very unique jazz fusion ensemble. They perform regularly throughout Toronto, and we are joined by them fresh off of the release of their debut album, Far From Comfort. Today I'll be chatting to Bureh, the band leader and representative of the band today. Bureh, could you just say hi to the folks at home for us and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bureh Bollo-Kamara.
And bro, you're the band leader for The Shop. You write the music. You're the guitar player. You're kind of wearing a lot of hats on this thing. How did this vision, come to you? What caused you to go in this direction with this band?
I guess from university, it was always a dream of mine to lead a project or to write my own music and have some sort of band. And I guess at first I thought I wanted a trio, but then I figured I like having another instrument to double melodies and things and someone else to bounce off of in terms of melodies. So I met Connor in fourth year. So as soon as I met Connor, I knew I would want him in my band. And at first it started as an acoustic quartet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we had a more upright player, and we were playing. It was still this type of music, but it sounded more acoustic. And then that bass player had other commitments, so he had to leave. And then Carlo jumped in, and Carlo made this band more electric. And then Russia came in too, and that just took us to another level. Yeah.
And for a little context for the folks at home, maybe could you tell us who all the band members are and what instruments they play?
Oh yeah, for sure. So on saxophone and flutes, we have Connor Moe. On vibraphone, Rasha Mukhaled. On the drums, Omar Giddens. And then on the bass, Carlos Santo Domingo. Yeah,
it's a all-star team. I must say, you did a fantastic job at bringing these people together.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And where were you in university, meeting Connor and whatnot?
I went to York. York, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Man, I meet a lot of folks coming out of York's music program, just, on the scene and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard such mixed takes on the program. How did you find it yourself?
Oh, I loved it.
Great.
But honestly, I feel with music school, it's kind of you make your own experience, I guess. Yes. That's how I feel.
Totally.
But yeah, I loved it. And Connor, Rasha, and I, we were all in the same year. We were in the same classes and stuff. And some of the other guys, friends of ours, I don't know if you're familiar with the guys in Marigold.
Yeah.
We were all in the same class too.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. I mean, your peers can also really make the experience as well. As what you put into it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm very excited that you're here, especially because y'all have just put out your first record.
Mm-hmm.
And that was maybe a month, 2?
Gosh, now it's almost 2 months.
It's been a second.
Yeah. Time goes by fast. So.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this record.
So it's called Far From Comfort, and essentially the concept of Far From Comfort came from a time where I was in it was a difficult time period. My family, we'd moved from our place, and we were kind of in between places. So we were staying with family and stuff, and it was difficult to say the least. But in that time I realized discomfort's not the worst thing. Discomfort, growth happens in discomfort.
Yeah.
So it's the concept Far From Comfort isn't really a thing of complaining or a lamentation. It's more of like embracing that discomfort. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super cool. Well, congratulations on the release of the record, and let's hear a few tracks from it. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you're playing some tracks from it today. Let me redo that a little bit. Congrats on the release of the record, and I would love to hear this first set of music that you're going to play for us. Would you be able to just tell us a little bit about the first maybe 3 tunes that you played today?
So the first one was the title track, "Far From Comfort." It's honestly like one of my favorite tunes. I vividly remember like where I was and what I was feeling when I wrote this, and then also just because of what the rest of the band brought to this tune, how they made this tune. Like I bring demos and they really turned this into like music. So yeah. And then the second tune is "Be Kind," and the third one's a very, very special tune. It's written for my second daughter. It's called Savannah. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, again, this is The Shop live from Studio 2 on CIUT 89.5 FM. You've been listening to The Shop live from Studio 2 on CIUT 89.5 FM. And I'm chatting here with Bureh. Thank you again so much for coming here and playing this amazing music for us.
Oh, man. Thanks for having me,
Dude,
honestly. Yeah.
It's so cool. And we were mentioning earlier, these are all your compositions. So a lot of your voice is very, prevalent throughout everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to chat a little bit about your writing process and honestly just glaze you a little bit because they're all awesome tunes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that really stands out about your writing to me is how melody focused everything is. Like, not only do you have a few multiple voices doubling the same melody, but sometimes even the drums are getting in there and the bass as well. Do you see melody as being something that really guides your writing process, or am I kind of inserting that in my own, the curtains are just blue moment?
Honestly, I usually come up with a groove first.
A groove first.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally.
And there have been times where I've come up with everything, and then the melody's kind of like the last thing I put on top of it. But those decisions where everyone like doubles it or like the drums play it, that's all done.
That's the band. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I guess it's more of an arranging decision more than a composing one.
Yeah.
So that's super cool that a groove comes to you first.
Yeah.
Is that like you're doing your chores, walking around, and you're like, we should. Is that kind of how it goes, or are you more intentional about it? What's the process?
So I'll say it's kind of like I kind of approach it kind of almost like sampling, where I'll be like, I'll hear something that I really like. I'll be like, I want to write something like that, but with this, but with this, but with this, but with this, and then it kind of fuses into something. And other times I'll have an idea and then it won't really work out, but then I'll just kind of follow the new thing that's kind of coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Super cool. Well, I think it's as I was saying earlier, it's a very a strong voice that you have as a composer. Like when I hear your tunes, it's like, oh yeah, I can tell this is a Bureh tune. Like I can tell it's very cohesive in a way that I think really makes the group stand out. Anyways, that's that. I also want to talk to you about a little bit about your album release. When this album Far From Comfort came out, you had a residency to I guess as a way to mark its arrival into the world. Tell me about that decision. I hear about a release show, but a release residency, super cool. What was that like?
Honestly, it was kind of like things kind of just fell into place. I knew I wanted us to release the album like sometime in spring, and Omar, our drummer, got us our first gig at the venue. It was at Context by Train. The owner, Frank, he'd been looking for for bands to book, and Omar got us in back in February. So then again, he reached out to Omar like later on, like in March or something, and he was like, "Well, I'm looking for a residency for me," and I was like, "Yes, let's do that." That
perfect.
worked.
Yeah.
And so we like the first day we did like a jam thing. Well, we played some of our older stuff, and then we kind of hosted a standards jam.
Yeah.
And then the second day we did like things like tunes that we were influenced by. That was Russia's idea. So we didn't play any original music. It was all covers. And then finally the last day we did stuff from the album. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's a nice build up into it. Yeah. I love that. And speaking of these live performances, you're saying you also have a few shows coming up?
Yeah. So
tell me about that.
Next week, Saturday, August 9th, we're at Monarch Tavern with Marigold.
Sweet.
And Double Red. Double Red's like Rob Capoletto. he was actually my teacher
Yo.
in university, so I'm really, really excited about that. He's
That's
so
sick.
so good.
Yeah.
So,
That's
apart from like getting to play, I'm excited to like hear him play and hear Marigold as well. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Cool. Well, folks, Monarch Tavern, August 9th.
Yeah.
What time is the show? It's
It's
showtime. It's at night.
yeah,
There you go.
at 8 p.m. I think. Doors
Cool.
are at 7, and then the show starts at 8.
Amazing. And where can people find you and find tickets and find the album?
Okay,
All
so
the things.
the album's everywhere, on Bandcamp, like Spotify, Apple Music, and all that.
Yeah.
You can find us at the Shop Family on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and then our website's theshopfamily.net. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, bro, for chatting with me and sharing your tunes with all of us. And this has been such a great, evening. This is pre-recorded. Hate to pull the veil out, but I imagine it's time for us to go off and get to bed. But thank you so much for chatting, and this has been such a pleasure.
And thank you for having me, honestly.
Dude, anytime. Cool. Once again, you've been listening to The Shop live from CIUT 89.5 FM. We've got a few more of their tunes to round out the end of the hour, so stay tuned. This is CIUT 89.5 FM.